If the description of assault was limited to only militaristic rifles, so to speak, then I reckon there would be no need for terms like assault and battery. A person doesn't need an assault rifle to commit assault. There's assault and battery, aggravated assault, assault with a deadly weapon, which means that any instrument that you have on your person that could inflict mortal injury, like, I don't know, a crowbar, do we call it an assault crowbar now? Or in the case of the recent bombing, do we refer to a kitchen appliance meant for preparing something tender, juicy, and delicious as a makeshift assault pressure cooker?
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
What a sad coincidence that this happened at a race, as liberals raced to somehow blame us right-wingers and started making this out to be leverage for more gun control laws. The Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, not the right to keep and bear arms on the condition of background checks and registration, etc. It's your God-given right to pursue happiness. If feeling secure contributes to your happiness and having a gun, no matter what the make of it, enhances your peace of mind and represents an instrument of security to you, then you have the right to possess it, as you have the right to pursue happiness. You have the right to own it. And being that it is your property, the government ain't got doo-doo to say about it, unless you use that weapon to infringe on someone else's rights, which you can obviously do with everyday things people have in their kitchen. As far as I know, there is no clause for preemption concerning your right to keep and bear arms, like placing a bunch of gun control legislation to supposedly keep you from running around like Yosemite Sam and shooting people in the face. Because the most effective tool to stop a person like that is not more laws, it's another person exercising their Second Amendment rights. Unfortunately, people like Dianne Feinstein don't understand that, because she's not concerned about the people who had to stay in their homes due to the fact that bomber number 2, and I call him bomber number 2 because he's a doo-doo bomb. Dianne Feinstein just farted over any concern for people's safety and went right to strangling any case for assault rifles. And with that comes the "what do you need an assault rifle for" argument, to which I stick by the saying, it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. Y'all, there's a reason why people in the military train with live ammunition, so they're acclimated to it. They're trained to deal with people trying to kill them. However, a person who hasn't made it their profession to deal with a person attacking them may find it kind of hard to lock onto an assailant's head and put a bullet in it. Sure, the bullet may travel faster, but the speed of aiming is a whole nother story. And home invasions aren't always one person. And if they're armed, you may be put in a situation where you gotta exchange gunfire with them. Better hope you make your target before you run out of bullets. Also, people like Dianne Feinstein thinks that the Second Amendment supporters are just so nuts about guns that we would defend our homes with high-powered machine guns, which would put other occupants of the house in more danger than the invaders might have introduced, as we'd be blasting through the walls into the rooms where loved ones might be. It's not very practical. And if you are able to make a shot to the body, that does not guarantee a successful dispatch of the assailant or assailants. Check out this dude. He wasn't shot, but he got a taste of the taser.
Did that to you? I'll get you, bitch. Get on the ground.
Bruh man didn't even stutter. He took that taser like he took a drag off his cigarette and then just went to lay down like he was in a Lunesta commercial, or like he just finished off a bucket of barbecue chicken and had to succumb to the itis. On another note, I never understood why feeling really sleepy after greasing is called the itis. Itis means inflammation. When I hear somebody say they got the itis, I'm just thinking it sounds like you need some antibiotics or some ointment. I'm not thinking it sounds like you need a nap. It needs a new term, y'all. Let's see if we can come up with a new one. A new term that means a real strong, sleepy, heavy eyelid feeling that comes on after getting your eat on. How about the lids? You know, since eyelids get all heavy and junk. That could work. Y'all come up with one too. Anyway, the right to keep and bear arms for the sake of personal protection takes a sense of practicality. Liberals are the ones who try to create this image of bitter gun-clinging zealots who want a tank in their garage. A tank isn't very practical for personal protection. Oh, what, you think you gonna rape me? Hold up, let me go climb into my tank. You just wait right there, mister. Or wait, let me go get my rocket launcher out of my car. Or wait, let me go get out my grenades and blow us both up. These aren't very practical items for personal protection, and they're not good items for home protection considering the damage they could do to your home. Also, the right to having more potent weaponry ain't all about the burglar. It's about having protection from an oppressive government. Liberals keep trying to influence people with this notion that it's ridiculous that we think we need such high-powered weapons against a home invader. It ain't all about the intruder who wants to make a nice trip to the pawn shop after their raid. It's about the intrusion of the government. Governments have a track record of slavery, genocide, and tyranny. They also have a track record of manipulating people into disarmament. They'll even say that even if the government was going to subjugate its citizens, what good would your weapons do? Well, if our weapons would be so ineffective, you got nothing to worry about. Which means you don't need to be infringing on our Second Amendment rights. See, as stated, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. See, a liberal takes the part of necessary to the security of a free state to mean things like the state can have a national guard or the state can have a well or heavily state-regulated militia. That kind of goes along the line with the collective rights model. A conservative gives consideration to that model, but stands by the core meaning when the Second Amendment says being necessary to the security of a free state, meaning that the state of your individual freedom is secured with your right to keep and bear arms. This goes more along the line of the standard model of Second Amendment interpretation. Keep and bear arms, meaning your weapons are not for the government to take as they are your property. Liberals will say, well, we'll see how you feel when somebody guns down one of your loved ones. That's why we want to be able to keep and bear arms so we have a chance to stop them in the first place. Hello, you know, people who would be armed against those criminal types who don't care about your laws and get guns anyway, or some other means to infringe on someone else's rights. But what about in the instance of a bomb? Guns don't do well against those. And what do bombs have to do with the Second Amendment? I don't know. Dianne Feinstein made that reach. I'm just responding to it. But maybe a person who would have a great answer to tie up Di-Fi in her own cocoon that spider is trying to spin would be Colion Noir. You want the nitty to the gritty on Second Amendment advocacy? Check out his work. His defense against gun control proponents is just straight up sexy. There, I said it, and I ain't ashamed. I'm AlfonZo Rachel with Zo Nation, and once again, the liberals tried and failed to pin this on us supposed violent right-wing Christian types.
I'll get you, bitch. Get on the ground.